Alright, here we are. Game 2. As you can see, KT won this first match, and it was not very close. KT got out to a good size, 2,000-3,000 gold lead, and they just never let go. They got the first three dragons, and two of those being a mountain, making a great macro play in showing three members of their team while two members got the Baron, and because of the two mountain dragons, were able to take it down very, very quickly before SKT was all the wiser, and ended up taking down 3 turrets, nearly 4, and an inhibitor with that Baron. And then after that, it was pretty calculated how they finished, but real impressive play. Pawn is back in now in the mid lane, so they were using their backup mid laner, and it did fairly well. So it's a little bit unusual how they would switch Pawn in for this game. I think they were gonna do this anyways. No matter whether they won the first game or not, Pawn was always going to play the second game, because if they were playing for strategy, you basically just keep in your backup, whoever you just won with. That would be common strategy, where you force SKT to make a change, not for yourself to make a change, but maybe throwing them a double fake, saying, "Hey, we can beat you with both mid laners. Give it, what are you going to do about it?" Well, we'll have to see how that goes, and Deft is liking the Varus, and he had a good showing last game. Was able to do fairly well against Bang's Ezreal. Ezreal currently banned, as well as Tristana and Sion. So going for a double Bang ban. Faker seems confident on the rise, and why not? It's your signature champion. Saw some good plays. He did not play poorly by any means in game 1. Not that he normally does, but gonna put the safe jungler on blank if they do go ahead and lock down that Sejuani, and he did not have the greatest game. We saw a couple of missed ultimates and was not able to wrest the objective control away from Score that game, who on Olaf looked pretty fearsome, and he's going to go ahead and take it again. Are these going to be similar teams? Yes, because KT, if they had the option to pick Talia, maybe would have again. Maybe they just run the exact same team, but Talia being banned, going to pick another high priority mid laner in Azir. Azir in 8.5 is getting some very minor nerfs, and that is seems like it's being targeted towards the competitive scene for playoffs coming up. So the champion pretty much does not need nerfs for the solo queue side, but in competitive hands, he's just being able to do a little bit too much. But this is his strongest version right now in 8.4. Before those changes will happen in a couple of weeks. 8.5 will be the playoff patch. So teams are looking to get a real hold of the meta and see what works and what doesn't with their team. SKT not one to shy away from unusual picks so far. With a couple of days ago, we were seeing Faker picking the GP middle. Here, Bang, with having 2 of his 80 carries banned, picking up Sivir. It's going to be helping with the wave clear and with her movement. A couple of top lane bans, Gnar and GP, targeted towards Smeb, some of the more popular picks. Likewise, a couple more top lane bans with Cho'Gath and Fiora, so top lane pools being pinched, as well as the mid lane. Mid lane, I'm saying by Talia and Galio being taken out for the old fakester. The Kench Sivir, can't admit that I've seen that lane very often recently, but looks like for the movement speed, could be pretty good synergy there. And if you're looking for a top laner, here there's going to be a blind top laner with the pools really camped. The Camille is one of the few meta top laners still left in the top lane, but this will be a counter pick. But with so many top laners banned, we'll be curious to see who Antara is going to pick up, and that's going to be a very entertaining matchup if they go Jax into Camille. See who can become the split pushing monster that each of these champions can become if they get the right type of lead. Well, I like the pick from SKT because they already had enough tank with Sejuani and the Tahm Kench, and really could use the damage, the split pushing pressure that a Jax can bring. Been seeing more Jax in the jungle in the last few patches, so seeing a Jax in top lane is where he's traditionally been, but a little bit unusual. But with so many top laners banned, really you're given a little more latitude to pick what you want here in the top lane. So that matchup can really go either way. I can't say I'm too familiar with it. We've just seen this matchup, and we saw Olaf come up ahead, but not necessarily because of the champions. Mid lane is a very, very common matchup. Azir and Ryze. Azir generally can push Ryze in. Ryze has more utility. We normally see Varus more than Sivir, so a little meta advantage there. And these are two of the most meta junglers. Supports. And really each have a whole lot of utility and tank that their team can use. So if KT wins this here, that is a 0-4 weekend for SKT. So really, you'd almost knock them out, like count them out for playoffs rather. But you know, teams have done that before. Analysts have done that before. I'm not beginning to call that yet. These are some of the best teams in the league that SKT is facing, and we'll see if Faker can overcome. Deciding to keep Blank in the game. Blossom is not in. Antara as well, staying in the game. Whoa, there's some fanboy, fangirl. That would be me if I could go see some live League of Legends in Korea. Maybe I'll get there one day. We shall see. We shall see. A little bit of an unusual start here for KT with Olaf not requiring a leash, and instead having KT's bot lane going up to contest this blue buff, just looking to get as much damage on as possible to try to slow the jungle route of Blank. So Olaf starting Wolves, then heading over to blue buff to solo it. So a little bit of innovation. KT not being afraid to try something new there. Showing the high kill participation of the Olaf. Number of wards more. Bang being a very large percentage of his team's damage, and really, I guess that was the problem, is he was the only one doing damage last game. Even without the leash, Olaf is starting off slightly ahead of Sejuani in the jungle. You can spot out right there. Team knows where he is. Nice little counterplay there by Smeb. Avoids just being counter-striked and then slingshotting off the wall back to do some damage. Jack's going Kleptomancy, so that's unusual. I have not seen that. Getting that mana potion is in inventory. You see that, you know something's up. Faker once again starting minion dematerializer, as well as the Kench. So 2 SKT materializers there, and 1 for SKT. Both fearing the Banner of Command. I think teams have found out so far playing at 8.4 that you generally don't want to keep all your 6 stacks of dematerializer for the end, because sometimes you just lose the game first. Olaf willing to take a tower shot just to get another axe throw. Getting Untara down low, so he's got to hang behind the base. Going Dark Seal on Jack, so Corrupting Potion, Relic Shield, Dark Seal, Kleptomancy, Jax. I know that was a mouthful to say there, but very, very unusual start, and I'm extremely curious to see how that progresses, despite early jungle pressure shown from KT and Score, knocking the Jax underneath turret, afraid to even farm. Just wanting a little bit of respite. Try to match the CS that Camille is posting out. Good early damage. Will it be enough? Does not look like it. Very close, but not wanting to take any turret shots. Faker being able to get out despite using the flash, but still was good to be able to get out there. Gold lead still even. Only bot lane and KT having a slight lead, but nothing to really write home about. Every time Blank goes up to that tri-bush, he's seeing zombie wards. It's becoming ubiquitous. Counter pressure put on. Smeb not having any of that, not getting pushed under the turret. Wants to go up and set up a freeze, and the reason he did that is because he saw Sejuani up in his lane. He knows that jungler's top lane, so you don't want to be out towards the middle of the lane whenever you know the enemy jungler is on your side of the map. So knowing this, not taking the easy 3 CS, would rather have wave management. And as you can see, Camille is still on her side of the lane. Managed to push that in when she saw Jax go back, and now is going to go back herself. Faker looks like he sold his dematerializer. So used the 6 stacks, sold it to get the early tier, working on that catalyst. A little slightly different strategy for himself, whereas Tahm Kench has 4 charges left, so that's the one that's going to be kept for the Baroned up Banner of Command cannon minions there at the end of the game. Faker, on the other hand, needs those item slots. Just leading that blue buff closer towards his lane, so he had a maximum amount of time with it while in lane. Good little bit of jungling by Blank, knowing that invade could be possible. Brings the red buff towards his side of the jungle inside the bush, and turns out to be a correct worry with Scorer getting up into the red side jungle. But here we're going to have a press by Antara. Both of them are holding their abilities. And a little bit of cat and mouse there. Both not using all their abilities. Antara not using the counter strike until just there. And it shows that as long as it's one-on-one, Jack still has a fairly decent time against Camille. It's just when there's jungle pressure, he cannot 2v1. Well, only momentarily with the counter-strike, but then after that, he's got to get out of there. And with that Tiamat, he's able to get most of that farm in the top lane. 11 CS up is Camille. Faker teleporting back to mid lane. Going to look to push this wave right back towards the Azir. Possibly start up a roam. Ultimate is up for Faker. He's looking at bot lane. Blank hits one person with the ultimate. It's a 3-on-2. It's going to be soon a 4-on-2 here on bot lane. But there's action going on to the top. Mutara is going to be going down to the 2-on-1 gank. And nothing else happens in the bot lane. So there's no completed dive. And a good counter pressure by KT was, yeah, you're getting dove on bot, but able to pick up the kill first in top lane. Here we're going to see it's in fact Antara going very aggressive against Smeb, and jungler here in Score getting all kinds of damage, and that blasting cone was just a little bit off, but it was a good little bit of counter pressure. Oh, we're going to try to pick up a double kill instead of just the dragon. Catches Varus up a little bit ahead in the lane, and a good little bit of ultimate use by Wolf. Don't really see this in low-level games. The super effective Tahm Kench ult, faking the bot lane to go towards Dragon to try to get a little bit of information and put themselves in position to contest. And in fact, picking up a kill on the 80 carry, first one of the game. And gets not only a little bit of pressure reprieve in bot lane, but the pivotal first Infernal Dragon over to SKT. So heads up play by Wolf, and you see the veteran presence really making a difference here in this game too. Unlike the last game, the gold lead has not gone from one side to the other. Neither team has taken down a turret as of yet. A little bit of deep vision there from Wolf. Baker being able to get a little bit of a positive trade there onto pawn. Not sure exactly what to do. Score's thinking about it, deciding to clear out his own vision. Jax once again going ham. Smeb countering that aggression. Getting down to 45% life is the Jax. Still not even close to finishing that Trinity Force. Camille does have slightly superior items. Jax going for more of a sustain build, whereas Camille going more of the wave clear damage build. Sivir being the recipient of that first kill for SKT. Has a Caulfield's and a BF sword. Before Varus gets that Rage Blade, she's going to have a slight damage lead just merely on items over this Varus. KT had a ward in there. SKT figured that one out. Bang not having the most mana. That's Sivir's greatest issue is how much mana she uses on her Q and her W. To offset that, you're supposed to block abilities with your E and get mana back, but it's easier said than done. Probably the most frustrating is getting a Blitzcrank hook on a Sivir and then having Sivir use an E right before. Here we're having a gank coming up. Blank looking to turn this. Going to be trying to get as much damage on possible on Def. Gets the Brittle, but... Well, not the Brittle, the freeze. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. The ice stun. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, Smeb continuing the lead over Jax. Jax just trying to get through this laning phase, but Camille is not making this easy. And you could see the game swing for KT's advantage based on this top lane. Score pressuring Faker out, and you could see a rift, but no, they're going to go ahead and go back. Mata being aggressive, getting the stun and the ultimate onto Wolf, but Sivir being able to get the E down. Nice teleport stop by Jax, good heads up play, and in turn gives up his life for it, but was able to stop the turn in bot lane. As KT, you're thinking, how can I get this top laner even farther ahead at this moment? Yes, we have Dragon in 50 seconds to a minute. And here Smeb got 2 levels up onto Blank, and issuing the Hextech ultimatum is more than enough to lock up the Sejuani, and this top lane is entirely in favor of KT, and this Rift Herald would be quite a likely prize, or the top tower. Both would be really good prizes and easily achieved with this type of advantage. KT may do the more certain and more standard thing and go down towards Ocean Dragon. Sejuani will just be getting back around the Baron Pit around the time, and knowing that they're not bursting it right now, because SKT does have vision at the front of Dragon. He doesn't have to immediately charge in. trades back and forth. A lot of tank compared to the damage that is outputted, so health bar is not really being too effective by the items being traded back and forth. They're going to go ahead and try to make a play on bottom. Jax staying top lane. Both top laners do have TP up. I feel for this camera guy having to go constantly between all areas in the map and then back to top because so much is happening. Realizing that a swings in top lane could mean the game. This time, SKT getting the dragon lead, the 2-0 dragon lead, as compared to KT, who had the 3-0 dragon lead to start, with SKT being able to get one back. But we're going to see if the dragons do make a difference. Some teams would rather have the turret and the gold lead, but first turret still has not went down yet. Unusual for an 18-minute game, for no turrets to be already down. Death keeping up with it. Doing all kinds of damage onto Bang. And it really looks like that type of play is going to work. Nice by Ontara. Just pretty fortunate waiting in that small bush, and Olaf heading back up towards his top side. Walked right into it, less than half health. Even Jax, who's behind at this point, can pick up on a play like that. But TP coming for the bot lane. Smeb deciding not to go in on the 3-on-4, and that's right, it was 3 for KT, 4 on SKT, so not an effective play. You're TPing towards a, well, he realized afterwards that it was a disadvantaged play, but I'm going to in fact give Ontara the first turret, and that's a way to let SKT back in the game. Just big misplay there. Smeb getting a little too aggressive. Bang having the Essus Reaver all finished up. Went Ninja Tabbies. I can see why with those 3 big AD threats. Got a 600 gold lead there, the AD carry in Bang, showing he can play champions other than Ezreal. Ezreal being banned this game, might have played him if he could have. KT looking to get vision and scuttle of the Baron. 21 minutes currently. SKT used to be referred to as the masters of the Baron because of how effectively they went for Baron and used it afterwards. Really seeming to extract the maximum always from their opponents. There's Jax showing his split pushing prowess. Really one of the best in the game. Deciding not to knock out that ward. Let somebody else do it. I got things to do. I got lanes to push. Very similar items now between Jax and Camille. Not much difference between the two. Magic Camille is sitting on a little bit of gold, but nothing to write home about. Appears to be a pick that they're setting up, SKT, realizing too many members are heading towards them. Can only do so much as two. Jack's down a level. Going very deep. Smeb respecting the Jax, even though currently at 1 and 2, and whereas Camille was winning the early part of the game, realize this is the different part of the game. This is one where Jax is ever more fearsome. Jax sure gets down to that bot lane awfully quickly and continue the split push. The same item bot for Camille. The fist. And a much slower pace of game than we had in game 1. No gold lead has been above 2,000. So far here, 24 minutes in. Difference being 2 towers by SKT, as well as the dragons. Looking to try to get an engage. Exhaust used onto Def. KT appears to be countering, catching Faker outside. Now if they can lock up this Jax, it could almost certainly be an Infernal Dragon. Being very careful, realizing that he's going to be going onto Camille. Flash going over. Score as well is going to head back with the Flash, knocking him right out of the air. Really good job by Smeb. And almost certainly Infernal Dragon heading over to KT, and our game is headed towards parity. Anybody's game. Who's going to win? SKT down 2 members. Right now, 5 on 3. Looks like they're going to be getting very close to be getting the turret, but almost certainly getting this dragon. SKT is just happy enough not to give up that mid turret. Realize the dragon's heading over towards KT, and will just continue pushing out that mid so that they lose the minimum here. Ooh. Faker knew. That was it. Tara backed off, tried to escape, didn't end up working. Dead even gold. And Camille looking to try to get the advantages on the Jax. It's just, at this point is when Jax really starts to become the crazy powerful split pusher and tower destroyer that he is. And even with 3 kills less and 3 deaths more, Jax is proving to be quite the opponent for Camille. Jax being able to hop over the wall. Hextech Ultimatum pushing right back over. Big play onto Tara. And that's Smeb really timing his abilities to perfection. This will mean the mid lane tier 1, but what else? That is the question. And with Jax down for 30 seconds, we're going to find out what. Is it going to be position on the Baron? A little bit of vision around the Baron, not too much. Mostly wants to push out the bot lane. You have Camille pushing with teleport. She's not hitting the tower. She's getting a little bit of farm instead. Three members trying to make a play. But is it on the right one? Ultimate's going down. KT trying to reposition. They're currently looking at a 4-on-3. Nice Braum ultimate. Hextech ultimatum onto the Tahm Kench, knocking it down. Now it's a 5-on-4 with flashing red bars from KT, but I think they're going to have the damage to be able to knock this out. 5-on-3. Can they get any more? Doesn't appear so, but big positional advantage. And are the health bars low enough for a Baron not to be tried? And it looks like the answer is no. They will try it. A little bit of fake there. Faker just being able to get out from the Shurima shuffle. Scuttle Crab taken by KT to guarantee that vision. And they have a huge advantage on kills. Here, going using a Kench ultimate and then Sivir to knock out the Olaf proved to be the mistake, not being able to take him out with his ultimate being able to negate all forms of CC. Then, knocking down the Kench followed up by the Jax just leads too many members of SKT to be able to deal with. And now at 9-2, we have our first small lead eked out by KT. And very, very small. Even towers, pretty even gold. And then SKT does have that Ocean Dragon advantage. It's not much of a lead. The level 17 versus level 15 of Jax is where you're going to see the differential. Now that will go to closer to even once they're both level 18, but will KT have so much of an advantage by then that it won't matter? This Olaf just inspires fear everywhere he's running. One with a similar type of build with Warmogs and the Aegis purchased. Level 3 boots. Once again doing the same sort of thing, rushing the Baron with 2 members, but not having any Mountain Dragons this time. Score taking this a little bit too much damage, but Camille coming in, ultimatum issued, keeping the Jax inside the fight. It's going to knock out the Kench, but being able to save the Jax is Tahm Kench. 2 members of SKT fearfully low, and this will be a uncontested Baron. Blank getting the hit points up, but charging into the wall, faking it out, is Blank. They're going to take a conciliatory Mountain Dragon. And try to extend the game, wait out this Baron buff, use that Mountain Dragon for future objectives. Camille wanted to be really spicy. She could have pushed another wave on that and just had a massive Baroned up wave pushing against top. Just with minion damage, that could have gotten that tower down to a quarter or half health. Just by backing around where you're still giving the Baron buff to that 2 waves of minions. Deciding to head over to the bot lane. She can definitely push faster than Jax can at this moment, and it's just going to push harder and faster than Jax can possibly hope to match. So whereas she's already going to be putting pressure right now on bot turret, Jax has to wait and decides to head over towards mid lane instead. So already Camille using her advantage to how she's able to eke out this type of small positional win. Lead ballooning to 7,000. This was a dead even game 10 minutes ago, and now Baroned up cannon minion, banner of command. I believe Kench has a dematerializer proc, but can he get in safely? Excuse me. He absolutely does not. He's Baron minion still up. Ultimatum used onto the Jax, going to knock him out before continuing their push. They're going to go ahead and knock down this mid turret, mid inhibitor, and then more than likely swing over towards the bottom side, which Camille's already started to do. And they're going for 2 inhibitors on this Baron. 1 minute left. They have a chance at it. Deciding to take jungle camps and back though. Take the advantage they have, not want to press. And the safe play from KT, who was argued that a year earlier was just too aggressive, too deep, and not playing to their advantages. And here they have the advantage. They have a solid half-item advantages across the board. And deciding to not press with that last 30 seconds to 45 seconds of Baron, instead going to cement their item leads and try to get vision and positional leads instead. So a nice little change of pace and gearing up for spring 2018 playoffs. And I have to say, I really like what I see from this KT team. And with their form that they're showing right now, it looks like they can challenge King Zone for that finals spot. And wow, what a cast that will be if I can do King Zone versus KT in the finals spring 2018. That's what we want to see, and let's hope it goes right to 5 games. Last tier 2, available. Not be too much of a defense there, put up by SKT. They know the next wave is the wave they need to focus on, and once again, banner of command used on the minion. Ultimate used by Sejuani is going to go freeze up that push, and good use by Blank. Definitely better play by Blank than in the first games, both on Sejuani. Baker trying to get in, do some damage. First tower down. Will SKT dive for this? Counter-Strike just went down. Won't be up for about another 10 seconds. Jax is going to get the speed before rushing right out of base. And no, they won't. Nearly a 10,000 gold lead now for KT in this game that was so close right up until the mid game. Towards the middle to latter half of the mid game, KT is really starting to take this over, and it definitely has sprung from the Camille winning over this Jax. It wasn't even obvious right from the beginning, even when Jax had 3 deaths and his same 1 kill. He was still strong, but Camille put the pedal to the metal and really shown that she is the split push threat, not Jax, in this game. And now at level 18, Jax is just looking to catch up, currently at 17 and 3 items, whereas Camille just got GA and is currently sitting at 4 items. So a whole item up. Now even a 4.5 items up with the purchase of the armor there. KT's looking for the right engage. The right engage might be now. Elder Dragon up. 3 dragons currently in KT's basket, and this will not be contested. In fact, it's going to be KT's going to be going on to try to win the team fight here. 1 down already so quickly is the Sejuani, and more importantly, Bang going down, and KT is going to take this 5-on-3 and either push for the win or go and get Baron. And with the Banner of Command, really, there's not much that can stop them. They have a Infernal Dragon that's being empowered. They have a Mountain Dragon that's being empowered. They are going to get back to full hit points with the Ocean Dragon. And really, there's not too much with these types of advantages that SKT could do. And their Faker's going down used to be quite the caveat, not going to kill on Faker, but dying more than most people remember him seeing here in spring 2018. And KT up 2-0, and that's a 0-4 weekend for SKT, falling to 5 wins, 7 losses, now on the outside looking in to the playoffs. KT going strong, though, and we're going to see how they are in what kind of form that they're going to be showing going into the playoffs. And as my favorite team, I'm very excited. I've said it before, but I'll try to cast some other teams. But you know, what could I say? They're always amusing, making big plays. Look at that Camille, just jumping all over, doing whatever she wants. Having Jax try to counter strike, leap into her, and then Smeb just jumping away at the right time, counter engaging for half the life of Jax, and right onto the tank too. Just seeing how much damage that Camille followed up with her team can do, and really the Olaf cannot really be answered. And very, very exciting. And frankly, I'm worried for SKT. Koma is going to have to pull in deep into his bag of tricks to be able to stop this slide that's going on. And they realize what's happening. They know that that's one of their competitors. Even if you're fighting for 3rd or 4th, you got to be able to show a little bit better than that. And just hanging with them in game 2 is not enough. But RavExel will be casting lots more LCK and NA/LCS for you in the books. If you like my casting, I also have a Twitch. I do live cast there on the Twitch, University of Toronto team, as well as other various tournaments and organizations. Going to be using both the YouTube and Twitch. So follow me, give me a like, give me a comment, say hi. Why not? I'm casting for your enjoyment and for my enjoyment. And hey, if we're all getting enjoyment out of it, then it's a win-win. And well, SKT doesn't know about it, but maybe we can even get win-win-win. Thank you, and have you all a good day.